hope you are well and just living your life as feels good. I am coming on today to talk to you about the Creative Flow programme and invite you along. Talk through some of the content, what's included, what the benefits are, and what it might feel like to be in creative flow and what the impact of that might be. So first of all, the Creative Flow programme is a 4-month online group programme designed to help you be creative, express yourself and create art and other different creative activities in a way that aligns with you, in a way that helps you with your well-being, helps you to express yourself and helps you to manage emotions, manage any challenges that you're facing or that you might be facing in the future, and be able to really have the tools and the understanding to use art and use creativity as a method of healing and self-development. So people often talk about self-development as about the mindset, as about thinking, lots of thought patterns, like have you got the right mindset or the right attitude? But actually, more and more people are using self-development as a way of looking beyond the cognitive, thinking about emotional well-being. And some of the things that people do for well-being, for self-development are helpful. Some of those things are absolutely helpful. So journaling, looking after your body, like exercise and nutrition, getting good night's sleep, being able to get out and connect with people, maybe reading self-help books or mindset books, listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks. But one of the things that is often missed off there is creativity. And I would say the reason for this is that it's considered to be maybe a hobby, or it's considered to be something that's unique to the individual, that somebody might be a creative person or not a creative person, and often considered to be a luxury rather than an essential part of life. So if you are doing your self-development, if you are continually working on yourself, developing a growth mindset, developing yourself to be a continually better version of yourself, you want to be including creativity in there. And when I talk about creativity, it's not just about art. I'm really into the art and the painting, but for many people, creativity isn't about art and crafts and the arts. It's more about problem solving, or more about like something that's about maybe overcoming obstacles and seeing things like that. But of course, but also as a creative person, I feel like really lucky that I've had that in my life, and lucky that I'm really grateful that I chose to do art at school and then went on to art college, art university, and like all of that in my life. But for many people who may have stopped making art when they were a teenager, it can be really challenging to get started and to be able to restart that creative process. So the Creative Flow programme will help you to kickstart making art again, getting back into the rhythm of making art. Often people say to me, I'd love to make art, but I've just not done it in years, or I'm just not a creative person. I don't have a creative bone in my body, but I used to really enjoy it when I was a child, and I'd love to do that again. But maybe it's just for the children. And actually, I'd say sort of to give yourself permission to get creative. Give yourself permission to get the colours and the crayons and the paint out, because anybody can be an artist. It's not just for a select few, and it's not a polarised thing where you're either creative or you're not creative. When I think about having a growth mindset, which is about believing that improvement is possible. And as humans, we're designed to make progress. There's something that I was listening to the other day that was talking about, generally speaking, as humans, the truth with it is that we can improve through hard work and through progress and through commitment to something. So when we've had a mindset of feeling quite fixed or quite stuck, then that can be turned around with a bit of extra support. And the same thing can happen with creativity. If we're feeling like maybe stuck, unable to get started with being creative, then it's entirely possible, and you deserve this. You deserve to be able to really get into creative flow. Allow yourself to let those creative juices flow. And something with that that's key with this is being able to express yourself. Really get to know yourself. It might be that you have been through life maybe doing things that you think that you should be doing things that you've been told that you should do, playing small, maybe adapting what you like and what you want to do to meet the needs of other people. But now as you step into a new version of yourself, can you allow that? Can you allow yourself to be a bit selfish if it feels like that? It's not selfish actually, because when you're putting yourself first, you're actually being a better version of yourself. So you're able to help other people show up better energetically in your job or in your relationship or in your life generally. So this whole program is designed to be able to do just that. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about was how it works. So across the 4 months, we have a combination of digital content. So it's stuff that you can access online, that you can watch a video, access a workbook, read through, answer some of the questions about where you are currently now and where you'd like to be with your creativity. And that's something that you can dip in and out at any time. You can watch at any time, and you can take what's important for you with that and leave anything that you think, well, that doesn't seem to be so important, particularly some of the techniques. And that's something that you can access online. And then we've got the coaching sessions. So these are the Zoom sessions. This is where we come together as a group on Zoom, and I talk you through some of the ideas, some of the concepts, some of the ways that could be helpful for you, things that can come up at the different points, and answer any questions that you've got. Talk through any sticking points, talk through any ideas. And they take place every 2 weeks, roughly every 2 weeks. There's over 4 months, we've got 8 sessions. So the dates don't quite work out every 2 weeks, but there's 8 sessions across 4 months. And then we have some drop-in sessions. So I added this really for myself because I like getting creative with you. I love being in a space, whether it's in person or online, and being present with you while you're being creative, while you're making art. So consider this to be a bit like body doubling. If you've heard of the term body doubling, a lot of people find that useful when they maybe find it hard to have that accountability and have that commitment and dedication to themselves to have a block of time to create. So there isn't so much any instruction in these times, but a space for you to really go for it and really experience getting into the flow. And if you've got any questions while we're making art together, during online of course, then you can ask me those questions. And like, I could be looking at your art and seeing like what you think, what I was thinking, and you can talk to me about some of the ideas that you've got, anything that's maybe getting in the way of your maybe progress. Then we've got everybody has one-to-one session, and that's everybody. So you have a combination of group, digital and one-to-one. And the reason behind that is that I'm wanting you to have a really clear plan and to really approach this in a way that works for you. So if I know and I can help you where you're coming from. Not everyone's going to be doing the same things. I'm not going to be expecting everybody to making the same paintings or doing the same drawings or doing 3D or doing digital art. Or some people might be doing poetry. Some people might be doing more dance-based creative activities. I'm not expecting anybody to be doing the same. And equally, nobody's going to be coming into this at exactly the same level of confidence or exactly the same level of experience. So you might be starting this program with a lot of art experience. You might already be an artist. However, what you might be wanting to work on is making some artwork or developing your art practice in a way that helps you psychologically, in a way that's using your creativity for healing. It might be that you really tap into the psychological part, like the art therapist in me, and really I can really help you to understand what's going on for you, to reflect on things that are coming up for you, the process of making art, and consider if there's anything that you want to overcome, if there's any blocks that are in the way of you making art that feels truly aligned and that feels really expansive. On the other hand, you might be wanting to approach this having not made any art for years, having this maybe desire to be creative and desire to express yourself, especially if you've got to a point perhaps where you have had enough playing small, you've had enough hiding, you feel it might be that emotionally you're feeling that you're kind of ready for a change and ready for to feel a bit more refreshed. And for example, like a lot of people that I work with are like women that are experiencing sort of perimenopause, or people that have experienced the change in job, change of career, changes. There might have been things happening in the past that they're processing. And what I'm meaning with that is that when we get to a point in our life where we think, I'm having a bit of a hard time, I want a new approach, I want to reinvent myself, but not necessarily reinvent who I am, but rediscover who I am. So peel back all the layers and peel back all the blocks and the elements of feeling that you should do a certain thing, and allow yourself to really be you. And using creativity, using art is such a powerful way of exploring and expressing and managing and processing emotions, especially when going through that transitional time, going through a challenging time where there might be anxiety or you might be feeling a low mood. And the reason for that is because we often find it hard to use words. Like, from a cognitive point of view, we might have all the words in the world, but things like brain fog get in the way, and things like some of the experiences being really painful or really stressful might stop us being able to talk about it. So creating art is a brilliant way to connect with and process emotions. So one of the key things that I'll be doing for you during this program is guiding you to use art in a way that aligns with your intention. So there's so many different approaches and so many different reasons why art and therapeutic art therapy is helpful. But the key, what makes this a lasting outcome, is that I'm not just going to be teaching you how to make art or telling you what to do, but I'll be guiding you to get to know yourself and getting to know the types of things that might be useful at different times. So the old statement, give a person a fish and they'll have a fish for that meal. Give a person a fishing rod and teach them how to fish and they'll have a meal for life. This is the same when it comes to art for well-being. If I were to tell you that there's so many people out there that are struggling with their mental health, my guess is that you won't be surprised. But if I was to tell you that the majority of people just don't know how to talk about their emotions, that they feel that they should be acting in a certain way, or maybe they're in a high-powered job, for instance. Maybe you're in a job where you've had to act a certain way. It might be that you've felt that you've had to have a bit of a masculine energy in order to be do. And actually that can be exhausting. And it might not really be who you are. It might not really fit with your soul or make your soul light up. So allowing yourself to sort of lean back a little bit can be really, really helpful. But when you bring in that essence of creativity, maybe using some paint or maybe using some clay, or maybe that you can really squeeze the clay really hard so that then actually, how am I feeling? I need to squeeze this clay because I'm feeling a sense of feeling angry about something. And then after some time you might be manipulating the clay. This isn't a very good example doing like this, but I'll show you in another video. Manipulating the clay to then get to a point where it's smoothed out. So then it's kind of, actually, I'm starting to see something new come from this. So these are the sort of things that, just touching upon some of these ideas, these are the sort of things that we explore in depth inside the Creative Flow program. And if you want to really, really deep dive and want something that feels really personal and feels that gives you an opportunity to explore things that may keep coming back for you. It may be things that you've considered before. It may be things that you've journaled about. It may be things that you haven't really thought about but come up during the course of the program. Then you can choose to go for maybe what I'd call the sort of VIP upgraded option for the Creative Flow program. So we have two options. You can do the Creative Flow experience, and that's £444. And the reason for that is that I was feeling that creativity is for everybody. Creativity is for well-being, and creativity is for life. So as much as I have literally resisted using any numbers like that, 444, 111, I have felt like a real ick with this, very cringe, and lots of frustration when I've seen it in other people. And I kick myself about this, of saying I've been feeling that having these angel numbers kind of, my view is that they can have a big meaning for lots and lots of people, and they absolutely have meaning for it. My bus down the road is number 444, and it can have such powerful meaning. But I've sometimes felt a bit of a mistrust with that when it's been used, and when it's been maybe used in finances and in numbers. But the fact that creativity is for everyone, creativity is for healing, creativity is for life, I can't get out of that. So that is why we have got such a huge package of support for you at such a minimal investment, really, £444, like over 4 months. You can split that up across as a payment plan if you like. So that is the Creative Flow experience, the core offering. Like, that is the kind of the essence of the offer. And then if you're wanting to add more one-to-one sessions into this, for additional one-to-ones, it's 777. So you can decide whether you want to have a much more personalised one-to-one experience to get really immersed into getting into flow, really. And I suppose the biggest difference and the biggest impact of having this is that you have more time with me. And what that might mean is when we're talking about overcoming blocks, when we're going through the dialogue, and when you're making art, and when you're exploring different things in relation to blocks, limiting beliefs, whether it's a physical block or an emotional block, whether it's could be your subconscious mind, that mind that tends to be sort of taken over, but it's so confusing to think about sometimes. You will actually have more time with me to one-to-one to explore this and to feel safe and empowered to take action with your creativity to shift past that. So it's not a theory. We're not talking about these things in a theoretical way, but allowing you to embody the version of you that stepped past that. It's not just a case of saying, oh, we've got an obstacle in the way, we'll just move it out the way. It's creating a new version of you that steps beyond that. So that's essentially why having additional one-to-one sessions can be helpful. And it's purely your choice. So if you're thinking that actually, I'd really like to get involved with this, but I'm not sure which one to do. I'm not sure whether I want to go for the experience or immersion. I don't know how deeply I want to go. Then what I'd suggest that you do is send me a message. We can jump online and have a chat for a little while, like talk through some of these things, or just send me a message or voice note, or however you feel comfortable talking with me. We can even jump on Zoom for a short amount of time, just to explore what the Creative Flow program might feel like and look like and be like for you. How specifically how you might get started. So it's not one of these kind of group programs where we're making art and we're all making the same pictures, but equally it's not only about making art for therapy. It's a combination. So if you're wanting a technique, if you're wanting to learn maybe about drawing portraits or doing sort of figures, and you're thinking, well, what I'd really like to do is draw them more accurately in order to get my message across, in order to get what I want to show to people across and out there, then I will absolutely be able to show you those techniques. I've had a decade of art teaching experience, which is about the same amount of time that I've been an art therapist. So when we bring the art teaching, the art therapy and the artist together, that allows me to model as well as to guide and nurture and sort of Sherpa you forward to the next steps. So this is a case of being able to work through things and work like with start where you are, trust the process, allow mistakes to happen and allow things to emerge that might be unexpected. Really respect like where you're going and really respond to where you're going, so you can actually make a choice about the types of art that you are wanting to do based on where you are and what you're doing. And then being able to allow yourself to have some time, allow yourself to have that time to really nurture your creative self and to really get to know yourself and allow yourself to show up and expand. Creativity, art isn't kind of a suppressive thing like doing a little bit of colouring to relax. It's more expansive. It's more like, whoo, we want to, like, for you to feel like that freedom and that feeling that's like, that release that's like, just feels like a good feeling. So anyway, I hope that by watching this has given you a little bit more of a sense as what the Creative Flow program might be like for you. And during the next week or so, I'm going to be doing more lives like this to be able to just talk through some of those things. So including a Q&A, which we're going to do on Thursday night and Friday maybe. And some of those questions that you've got, we can deep dive on, and you can ask me in person as well. So thanks for watching. I hope that's helped you to get a fuller understanding of that Creative Flow program, and I can't wait to see you inside there, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be fun. You absolutely deserve to be able to step up and honour yourself and allow yourself to do something that feels like good for you. So take care. Bye-bye.